Somehow we have staggered through another week. Yes, we are live. Well, as live as you get at my age. Hi, I'm Russ Kane. He is Phil Dave. Back from his travels. How were your travels?
You just pointed off screen.
No, I pointed to you. Like that.
No, you didn't. Look, you're pointing off screen.
No, that's pointing to you.
That's done the reverse to us, to what we're looking at.
Well, if I go that way...
There! That's it. That's pointing to me.
That's not pointing to you.
It is. I'll show you.
That's pointing to you.
No, it's not. Right, look, I'll show you. So, look, hang on a sec. Point to me.
Oh, God. Right. I'm pointing to you now.
Okay, right. And now,
right.
Have a look at this photo. You're not pointing to me.
Well, that's just voodoo magic. That's just voodoo bullshit. How does that happen?
You need to think like a weatherman. You need to point in the opposite direction.
I got to point.
That's it.
Opposite. I don't understand that. It's rubbish. I don't want to be a weatherman. Don't need a weatherman to stay between the wind blows. Right.
Mind you, I wouldn't want to be a weatherman today. Good Lord.
It's crap, isn't it? It's absolute crap. Matches my mood. How was your trip?
It was glorious. Thank you very much indeed. Sadly, like all trips, it came to an end, and it's not quite bankrupt.
Are we allowed to know where you were, or is it a secret?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Sorry, I was in South Africa. I've made that no hidden secret at all. It was just...
I never know with you. I like to keep it on the DL.
Oh, no, none of that. No, that's fine. I don't mind. I have nothing to hide.
What did you do? You went out on your own, or you went out with a pal and hung around, or what did you do?
So what happened is that I went out with it was a friend of mine who's, well, a very good friend of mine's husband. He also has South African relatives. And so he found this flight, messaged me, and he said, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Because basically... Is
his name Barry Budavust?
No, it's not Barry Borovust. No.
Okay, just checking.
It's Stanley Springbok. No, it's
Stanley Springbok.
What happened is that he messaged saying that he's found this flight. What do I think? And just to give you some context, flights to South Africa, typically you wouldn't get much change from about £950, £1,000 return. It's very expensive to get there. Once you get there, live like royalty because it's very cheap. But getting there is super expensive.
Well, go to the Kardashians' parties, and then you pretend you signed it a no photos thing.
I could do, yeah, couldn't I? I think I could pass off as a Kardashian, couldn't I?
Yeah, which one would you be?
Good question.
I don't know. Phil Kardashian.
Yeah, I'll just go with that. Until they suss me out, I'll just roll with it.
Yeah. You would just turn up to the parties and then said, I insisted on no photos, just like Harry and Meghan didn't.
To give you this context, you wouldn't get that much change from £1,950.
All right. So anyway,
managed to find the flights for £370 return.
That's ridiculous.
And that's why I was off.
Wow,
having some of that. So
what was that? Was that Gaza Airlines or something? What was
that? No. Well, the problem with the Gaza Airlines is it goes straight down.
It does, yeah. So go on. It was a proper airline, and you got food, and you don't have to vote for a captain before amongst the passengers and everything.
No, food was not included. It was a very basic airline, very low cost, but it was an overnight flight, so it didn't matter. Ate at the airport, slept on the plane, got there by 6 a.m. the following morning.
Beautiful. And did you go on the beach, or what did you do? I'm just fascinated. It's been so long since
so I found myself in Stellenbosch, which is one of the wine regions there.
It is.
And might have not overindulged. I was quite well behaved because I don't really sort of like to get drunk anymore. You know how some people, they drink in excess and become inebriated on purpose. That's not really my style. I haven't done that for many years. So went there, proper wine tasting, little sips, anything I didn't like I got rid of, kind of thing. And it was just bliss. The most incredible backdrop you ever seen. Walked on the beach. Actually, I did go on the beach once, but I was only there for 5 days, so there wasn't much of an opportunity. And even then, I'm not much of a beach person. I prefer sort of being on the beach front rather than actually on the beach.
I don't like the beach, full of sand. It gets everywhere.
I know, it gets everywhere. I don't like it. I could never live in a desert.
Could you not? So you're not moving to Croydon?
I just think I'd get a bit annoyed with the sand in like between the toes and stuff.
Yeah, Yeah, I never understood. I never understand people say, "Oh, I'm going to have a beach holiday." And I go, I can't think of anything more boring. Just I settle. The time you settle down, you know, and you get sat under your umbrella, I'm like, God, I'm bored. I'm just bored. Now, I like city breaks. Not that I've been on.
I think there's room for both.
Yeah.
If you look at somewhere like Cape Town, for example, actually has got a city within it, and yet you've got the beach and you've got great food. You've got the suburbs, which I stayed in.
How safe was it? Because you see all these videos.
You've got to have your wits. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to make out as if I was absolutely fine. I was fine because I know how to behave when I'm in South Africa. But
and how is that? Serious question. How is that? How?
Well, don't have any jewelry on display ever. Right. Because you won't have it in your possession for very much longer. And I'd say that dress down. So, I mean, it's quite tricky for me, but jeans and T-shirt was the order of the day.
What? No cravat?
No cravat.
Wow.
And also just know where you're going. If you're destined to sort of go to a specific location, don't wander around looking like a tourist, because then you're asking
wander around looking aimless.
Exactly, because then you're asking for trouble. If anyone does approach you, just ignore them, walk right past them. And ideally take cabs everywhere.
They got Uber or whatever they got.
They have got Uber there, yeah. Okay. And Uber is much cheaper there. As in 30-minute journey, it's a couple of pounds.
Right. When was the last time you used Uber in London?
Last weekend.
I don't think I've used it for about 2 years or more.
But then work paid for it, so I didn't mind that.
Oh, well, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, when did you book an Uber? I don't think.
Oh, no, not me personally. Actually, no, I lie. Sorry, I do lie. I took an Uber to the station when I was going to South Africa because I didn't want to leave my car in the car park, because otherwise it would have just cost a fortune. So.
Yeah, crazy talk. And I only went once because I spent a week with Ayrton Senna, the Grand Prix filming. That's the only time I went to South Africa, so I didn't see anything apart from the inside of the McLaren garage, which was, I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. But for a year, but the food was incredible. It was a long time ago, but the food was incredible, beautiful, so fresh.
The food is amazing. There is literally no other way of describing it.
Yeah.
Because it's so reasonably priced, and it's just divine, honestly. Really amazing food.
Does it make you realise how rubbish the food is here in the UK? How not fresh, how tasty. It does. It's a shock. If you go to a Mediterranean country or somewhere like South Africa, and you taste the fruit and you taste the vegetables and the meat and whatever, you think, what the hell am I eating in town? What am I eating? It's
going to sound very strange, but sweet potato over there, for example, right, it looks like a normal potato. In other words, like your sort of average sort of white potato you get in the UK. But that's sweet potato over there. And it does taste. It's got the most amazing taste to it. So even the most basic vegetable has got amazing flavor to it.
The thing that always gets me when I travel abroad, which I haven't done for 7 years, but when you taste a tomato here, it's just wet. It has, it's just wet. It has absolutely zero taste. It's just wet mush that looks like a tomato. So you're thinking, well, this tastes like a tomato. It tastes absolutely sod all, right? And you go abroad and you think, yes, I remember that's what a tomato tastes like. Of course it does. How wonderful to remember it.
Oh, it was just, everything was glorious. And of course, you get wine with the meal, and it's about a couple of pounds a glass. And it's good wine. Okay, let's be really clear about this. This is none of the plonk that the restaurants over here try and sell you.
Matured on the truck.
Yeah, no, none of that. This is really, really decent wine that you get for a couple of pounds a glass. And because it's so readily available over there, and it tastes blooming fantastic.
Yeah.
And because it's not cheap, it's not the kind of stuff that makes you drunk in a hurry. It's just decent wine.
How fabulous. Robert Van Buren,
sensational.
horologist to the stars, have joined us. Hello, Ross. Phil. Hello, Robert. And to Ian. Hello to Ian. And where is she? Where is she? She's here. The fabulous Julie Voice, formerly of Houston, Texas, and now of Guildford, Surrey. Yeah, that's everybody.
I think I've upset Ian.
What's that? What's that?
I've upset Ian.
Why?
He said no cravat, end of the empire.
It is the end of it. It's the end of the Hackney Empire as we know it. So, tell me something. You were speaking to your pals. Oh, and all the way from Sydney, Australia, ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Vaughan from Sydney, Australia. Boom, you can see what it is, yeah. Tell me something. When you were speaking to your pals out in South Africa, what do they make of the UK? What was their take from, a few thousand miles away? Or did they not have a view?
Well, I think it depends what religion they are. But let's just say the ones I spoke to, they're not very impressed with what's going on in the UK at the moment.
Do you think... That's enough of your holiday, otherwise I'll become Judith Chalmers without the tan. Do you think... Do you think we're going to make another 4 years without an election? Because I don't think we are. I really don't.
Let's put it this way. I would be amazed if we did. Because it looks like our so delightful, stable government is crumbling, thankfully.
Falling to pieces. They haven't got a clue what to do. That's the trouble. Like the old Sweet song. Haven't got a clue what to do. Is anybody to Blockbuster? Right. I don't think they have a clue.
They wouldn't be able to find out. I think there's only one store remaining now, isn't there?
What, Blockbuster? No, I didn't know that. I meant the band Sweet. Very underrated pop group. Very underrated.
Oh, I know the song. There's got to be a way.
Did you ever... Sorry, this is just a random thought. Then we get back to everything else. Have you ever followed the story of Blockbuster and Netflix? Absolutely riveting.
Blockbusters and Netflix?
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, I know how Netflix started. It used to be that it was basically the mail order version of Blockbusters. In other words,
Blockbuster
you'd order a DVD online and they'd send it to you in the post.
That's it. And Blockbuster were offered to buy Netflix, and they thought it was overpriced. Like turning down the Beatles.
Oops.
Guess who they
How did that work for you, Blockbusters?
Not too well. It's fascinating when people can't see the future. It's like film, like Polaroid or Kodak, and you think,
or VHS Betamax,
VHS, any of those things where the people go, oh no, we're right, we're going to double down, and they double down. And it's like, oh, you're so dead. Your career, your whole business structure is so dead. You're not going to make it. Yeah, Blockbusters absolutely had the chance to morph into Netflix.
You know how you like watching things on YouTube?
I do. That's what I spend most of my evenings watching stuff.
I was watching this one yesterday evening about high street shops that have disappeared from British high streets.
Ooh.
And it was just really, I mean, I knew most of the brands, but it was interesting to see, how the high street has changed beyond recognition.
Oh, it's just...
And curiously, I didn't realize, actually, that the pandemic was responsible for killing off quite a few stores as well.
Which ones? Really?
I think they said that the nail in the coffin for the likes of Burton happened because of the pandemic. As was Top. I mean, it was all of Arcadia, so the same with Topshop as well. And then what else is there that didn't survive pandemic? Debenhams. Debenhams died because of the pandemic as well. So
I don't think. You know what? I've said it many times. I'm going to say it again, and I know you don't take praise lightly. But back in the days when you and I had the studio in Covent Garden, etc., etc.
Happy days.
Were the first. No, they weren't happy days at all. Oh.
Come forth, evil spirits.
No, I didn't take it, whoever it is. Here's the thing. You were the first person to say the mental side of the pandemic will far outweigh the medical physical side of it. That was the thing you said, and I argued with you, saying, "Oh no, you know, Mr. Have 3 jabs and Mr. Wear a mask and I was the first person to wear gloves and everything." And you were right. We've never recovered from the pandemic. People think we never have. The world shifted. It shifted on its axis. It really was a tectonic shift when the pandemic came and went. Never recovered from it. Ever.
And it is beyond pathetic how it changed for no reason, because it really was for no reason. I'm not being funny, but if it was in a bid to try and save lives, how many people died? We had one of the worst death rates in the world. So what was it for?
Well, what was it for? I always
the only saving grace would have been if we would have had a low death rate, and we didn't. We had one of the highest in the world. So whatever we did didn't work.
But you know why we had one of the highest in the world? Because everything, very interesting. I talk to a lot of, obviously, I'm doing about 2-3 funerals a week at the moment, and I get to talk to all of the funeral directors about so much stuff. And during the pandemic, and I talked to a lot of care workers as well, because a majority of, not majority, but a large proportion of my clients had been in a care home and they passed away in a care home, etc. So I speak to the carers. During the pandemic, listen to this, everybody over 60 was marked DNR, do not resuscitate. Everybody over 60. Let that sink in. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I don't know how to answer that, because it's just ridiculous.
There's no answer. It's absolute mass scale slaughter is what it is. And then, because to ease the paperwork in so many instances, and this shocked me, Richard, the cause of death, COVID. Wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been all sorts of things, but they wanted, get the paperwork. Wow. Ian in Surbiton, let's see what he has to say on the subject. What does it say? The 3 of us here, 1 caught COVID. All of us showed no signs of mental problems due to shutdown. Maybe we were lucky. Maybe. Michelle, were you in Australia then? She's watching in Sydney. So I wonder what it was like in Australia. But, it's very easy to criticize. But I would say this. They were faced with something completely new. And if you had the responsibility of 65 million people in what's left of this country, and you made the wrong decision, you'd be hounded forever and a day, would you not? Would you not?
Well,
what would you have done? Seriously, what would you have done? I think we would have done different things, but what would you have done if you were the boss? You're the prime minister or the health minister or whatever it is.
Honestly, and look, I know this is very easy to talk in hindsight, but
yeah, sure, it's okay.
Genuinely, if it were me, I would have said anyone under 50, carry on as you were, because that way, it would keep the economy going. It would say that actually you didn't have to pay every single flipping person a wage who just happened to feel like taking time off work and use it as an excuse to do so. It would have meant that actually there was a chance that some of the brands we've lost would have survived because people would have just carried on as normal. And it would have said that those who are over 50, you have a choice. You have a choice of saying that if you want to stay at home and isolate and stay away from family for your own safety, do it. But if you would like to carry on, do so. But please know there is a risk the NHS might not be able to help you. That's what I would have done.
In hindsight, and there will be no doubt.
But it's what I would have done at the time, by the way. That's not even hindsight.
No, I remember you saying. I thought you were wrong. It turns out you were right. But again, everyone was in full panic mode. And that feeling of panic and mass hysteria was really posited and promoted by everybody in the media. It really was, stirring up levels of hysteria and paranoia. What we got here? Ian says, I don't blame the government for actions it took during COVID, as it was a sort of war. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Mistakes are made in wars. Yep. What I don't forgive is those who made the laws, who broke them. Oh, like Starmer. Maybe.
Look,
yeah.
I hate to say it, but I'm not excusing it, but that has always been the case. You know full well those in power, if they can twist the law to suit them, they'll do it.
Well, Angela Rayner.
COVID is just another example of that.
Yeah. But I always wonder we just carried on. You see, that's really interesting. But they were in Texas. Julie said, because she was living out in Houston, Texas back then. Phil, that's pretty much what happened in Texas. We just carried on. We should have just carried on.
Mm.
There's one of the crematoriums that I go to a lot that has gigantic car park. Gigantic car park. So when everything was in lockdown, and I speak to what they call the CAs, the chapel assistants, I've got to know very well because I'm practically living there, see more of them than I do in my own family. And the whole car park was stacked with coffins. All of it. Stacked. And this is a huge car park. Huge. And much of this stuff was kept out of the public domain.
When you say stacked, what? Because there was one hearse after the other?
Oh, yeah.
Or it was...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Trying to deal with it.
There is no denying that there were many people affected by it. But the truth is that those people sadly lost their lives in spite of all of the so-called measures that were put in place to save lives. And I just don't buy into, well, could you imagine how many more people would have lost their lives if we didn't have those measures? Just bunk them. The disease spread. The virus got around somehow. So
I think it was two things. One was the attitude, take the jab. Well, I had three. I was first in the queue. Take the jab. It'll stop you getting COVID. No. What I should have said is take the jab, and like a flu jab, if you get COVID, it'll be less ghastly. It's like the flu jab. If you get it doesn't stop you getting the flu, but if you do get the flu, it will diminish the symptoms. That's the idea of the flu jab. But I won't be having another COVID jab. Absolutely, I won't.
No blood.
Won't be, because they will never, we know full well, they will never reveal the full after effects, side effects of a drug they just managed to just develop, in no time. Isn't that amazing? Boom. There's COVID 30 seconds later. Oh, here's a drug. Stinks. It stinks.
Yeah. It really is very unnerving, to say the least. And I have to say, the only reason that I took the jab, and I took 3 as well. Yeah. The only reason I did is because I wanted to travel to Israel, and it was a prerequisite to enter the country. You had to have a COVID jab.
You didn't travel during COVID.
Yeah, but I must admit, if I'd have just wasted another couple of years, they soon dropped that. They didn't think it was necessary after a while because they realized that it wasn't. But anyway.
We will never know the truth, ever. We will never know the truth because there's too much money at stake. It's as simple as that. Too much money at stake, too many billions of pounds, billions of dollars invested, made, procured, siphoned away. No. But it's just that, and this is it. This is Ian saying this. When I was in ICU in March 2021 for non-COVID related illness, I saw how worried the nurses were of any suspected COVID in the hospital. Absolutely. Absolutely right. Yeah. What happened to the people who didn't lock down?
To be fair,
Sweden locked down. Sweden didn't lock down.
No, not at all. Sweden was, I think, the best example. Just carried on regardless.
With Charles Hawtrey and Hattie Jakes. What?
Curiously, by the way, had one of the lowest death rates. Isn't that interesting?
Well, I come back to the point I made about 5 minutes ago. To avoid the bore and time-consuming aspects of paperwork, any death was COVID. It's just easier to put down COVID. I know that sounds horribly simplistic, but it was true.
Well, because then they didn't need to do anything like the autopsies and stuff like that. If they marked it as COVID, it was just simple.
If you do that, they weren't going to do an autopsy on you. They weren't going to do an autopsy on you. And it just speeds up the process and clears the backlog. And that's why they did it. There were some shocking examples of that. And there also were people who did get COVID who suffered horribly and died. Let's not forget that. It wasn't like it was nothing. You know, we're not talking about catching a cold here. It was much.
It's just bizarre.
More serious than that. And I don't believe. Just then we'll move on. But that bullshit. It was a bat in a food market. Oh, for God's sake! Something happened in your Wuhan COVID lab. So obvious. What's the name of the lab? COVID lab. Well, that would be a clue. It's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Bat.
It is, I'm afraid, totally pathetic, but never mind.
Ian, I don't think that's germane to the point. Clever murders. I don't think so. Unlikely. I see where your head's. I see where you're going with that. I had my hair cut this morning. I'm quite pleased.
I noticed that you've had a bit of a prune.
Yeah, no, I looked at it and I didn't like the way it looked crap, and so I just thought, yeah. So 9 o'clock, I was there. They don't speak much English, but they know how to cut hair, so it's fine. I'm not there for a chit chat, and it's fine.
I dare say that's quite a common occurrence in quite a lot of circles these days. You don't have to speak English.
No, absolutely not. Do you still get food deliveries from Deliveroo or Uber Eats or any of those people?
I haven't done for ages. Primarily because I'm on an economy drive. But
yeah,
as I know where you're going. But in terms, I haven't for a while.
Because that's one of the things they should be looking at straight away.
No, it's very suspect how they've got surplus number of drivers who do this. But I think it's exactly the same with delivery drivers as well, period. I don't think it's just food delivery. I think that the way
the food delivery is the most. I tell you what really bugs me, and it's a serious point. It's not just me moaning that there's, if you drive through London, this isn't London centric, but if you try and drive around any major city, but particularly London, they are a plague because they don't know what they're doing. But when you go for your basic training on a scooter, a moped or a scooter, right, your very basic training so that you can ride around with an L plate on the back, the first thing they tell you, you have to ride with your feet on what they call the pegs, feet up. It's the first thing they tell you. And if during the training your feet are down, they will stop you and correct you. And I would say 90% plus, probably more, of all these fast food delivery scooter riders that I see are riding with their feet virtually dragging along the road. I don't think they've been to any training at all. Because if they had, they'd never have done that, ever.
Oh, either that or I suppose they've got the training, they just ignore it.
But you can't. It's a really dangerous thing to do. Do you understand why it's a dangerous thing to do?
Well, one would assume your feet get caught, you fly off the scooter.
It's the quickest way you can break your ankles and your legs and damage it. Because if you go into a pothole or something and your toe catches or your foot catches, bang, you're going to break your ankle, break your feet, damage it. I agree. We should never have had food deliveries. People should get off their fat asses and walk to the shop. Oh, it's too complicated. It's too much work. You can have a greasy burger delivered to you.
I hate to say, though, that you need to try telling that to the shops, though, who have benefited enormously from this. And actually, some of those brands would not have survived either if it weren't for food delivery. So,
Julie Voice says this: I traveled to and from the United States every few weeks during COVID. Wow. Tested when leaving, on arrival in the UK, leaving the UK on arrival in Houston. Added approximately $500 to the cost of my flights. Follow everything in life. Follow the money. Any crisis, the always about money. People made millions. Some people made billions through this, and we're the donkeys who put up with it.
But it's always been the way. Always been the way that people say. It's like, for example, what we're about to. Goodness only knows what we are about to hear in that budget that's coming up. I just dread to think. But people will say, we're going to charge you even more for this now, and people will say, okay, no problem, that's fine.
Did we or did we not say that electric cars were a con? We've said it for years.
About 100 times.
You and I have said the whole climate scam is the biggest con perpetrated on mankind. I mean, people have made billions of dollars out of this.
Absolutely. Now, let me be very clear. That doesn't mean the climate isn't changing, but what the con is people making money off of it.
Of course it is. Absolutely right. And the sooner Ed Miliband is not an MP, the better.
Oh, we could only dream.
What a buffoon. What an absolute bloody idiot that man is. Anyway, not the point. I said, the moment they said, oh, electric cars are exempt from, going into town and any congestion charge, I said, they'll lure you in and they'll slap you with the... What did they do? Everybody, I've got to get electric. Oh, I've got to get an electric car, save the planet. Bollocks. And then, bang, now you're going to pay exactly the same. It's so blindingly obvious.
And have you heard the delightful news that the congestion charge is now going up to £18
what?
A day? It used to be £5. It's going up to £18 a day.
When? When's he doing that?
That will be in January, I believe.
Piece of garbage. When's it happening?
I believe it's from January.
£18 a day to drive into your own city, and you're already paying road tax, and you're already paying God knows how much tax on your fuel.
Yep. And that's exactly the same thing everyone said when it went up to 15, exactly what everyone said when it went up to £12, £10, and from £5. It's just pathetic. And it's never going to stop.
How long before these communists charge us per mile?
Oh, it's the next thing, you can guarantee.
And how are they going to do that? How are they going to implement the mechanics of pay per mile?
The only thing I can think of, and I know that Chantal is eagerly waiting in the digital green room, but the only thing I can think of is that it would be a case of there will be a prerequisite, basically, to have a particular device fitted to the vehicles that track your every move. Because then it will be used for several things. It will be used for pay per mile. It will be used to check if you're breaking the speed limit, and it'll automatically issue speed tickets. I'm absolutely convinced of it. They want to make driving as miserable as possible.
Well, it is as miserable. It's disgusting. I used to like driving. I
don't think we've seen the half of it. I really don't.
Well, come the revolution, we'll throw them all out and they'll be in prison. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her. You love her. I can't believe she is here because she's the other side of the world, as far as I'm concerned. A place where I'm never going. Live from Cairo. Chantal Rickards OBE.
Hello. I'm not quite in Cairo. I'm on the beach.
Where are you?
I'm having a sneaky weekend on the beach, just south of the Suez Canal.
Good Lord.
Good God, I have no idea where that is. Where would that be?
Well, so east of Cairo, you get the Suez Canal, which runs down from the Mediterranean down towards the Red Sea. And that was I'm sure you know the history better than I do because you're a historian and I'm not. And then it opens out into the Red Sea. And I am just at the top of that. So I'm looking out on lots of tankers as they're slowly making their way either north or south, having just come through the Suez Canal or just going up to it. And the sun is out, and there are palm trees, and there are people. I think I am the only person from Great Britain or from anywhere that isn't Egypt. But it's lovely to be here just for a sneaky weekend at the beach, and then work starts Monday at the Cairo Film Festival.
Chiropractor Film Festival.
Chiropractor Film Festival, absolutely.
And you are like one of the chief judges? What's the deal?
No. I'm just a guest of the president. So the president's the film festival.
Sorry, just a guest of the president. Do you mind?
I'm just a guest of the president. My dear.
I'm just a guest. I'm just a hanger-oner.
It sounds like a very fancy schmancy hanger-on to me.
Yeah, this is my kind of hanging-on.
It's going to be wonderful, and I am going to see the brand new museum, GEM as they call it. It's the Grand,
yes, I've heard about this.
Grand Egyptian Museum, the largest museum in the world that opened, I think, last weekend or the weekend before.
Largest? Hang on, whoa, that's not that slide. Largest museum in the world.
Yeah, I don't know much about
it. I mean, the British Museum, which I go to quite a lot, is so gigantic, it's bewildering.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you go to the British Museum for? You thinking of moving in or something? What do you mean?
I'm thinking of joining the mummies because that's how I feel these days. Why do I go there? I go for lectures. I go for lectures.
Oh, I see.
And
for the events. Oh, right. No, I didn't know whether or not you were sort of like checking to see if they change the artifacts once in a while or something. But no, if it's lectures,
I make a note of all the 800 million artifacts on my notebook.
I wasn't sure. Look, people have done stranger things. You certainly have done stranger things.
I love going to the British Museum. It's magnificent. It's incredible. I just always find another gallery that I've never visited before, and I'm fascinated by watches and clocks, particularly watches. And I go into got a whole gallery dedicated to watches and clocks and stuff. It's amazing.
I think I need to revisit the museums.
Oh,
Chantal, you and I found ourselves at the Old Science Museum a couple of weeks ago. It was lovely.
We did. I guess
What's this?
We were sitting next to to something. Had it actually been to the moon and back? I'm not sure. I think it was a shuttle of some sort. Wasn't it?
I think it had been. No, I believe it was. It had been to. So yes. Yeah. The Science Museum was screening something that they went to go and have a little sneaky peek at, which was very fascinating. The actual film, but I mean that's one side. It was because it was in the Science Museum. We sort of had a little. The entrance to it was actually sort of one of the exhibition halls. It was lovely. And been to the Science Museum for
fantastic.
How many years?
Museums, I adore museums. So my favorite in the world is Musée d'Orsay.
Yeah. I love Musée d'Orsay.
Oh my God! And all the way from Sydney, saying hello to you in the Suez Canal, Michelle Vaughan. There she is.
Hello,
now, have you had
Michelle.
the chance to see anything while you've been traveling and packing and unpacking and?
Well, I downloaded lots of things for the plane, but I saw quite a lot last week actually. Or this week. It's only Friday. I'm so confused.
It's Friday today.
Yeah. So yes, I've seen all sorts.
But I think it's only a 5-hour flight, isn't it?
4:20.
Wow.
Oh, it was even less then.
Yeah.
God,
it's
that's close.
4,000 kilometers, however many miles that is. I can't remember. But
it's
about 2,000 miles.
I've never been and I'm not going, but is everybody nice? Are they very charming?
Is everybody nice? You are hilarious.
Why? I'd like to know what the atmosphere is like in the country. If you arrive there, you can get
absolutely charming.
In the litmus test of it.
No, at the airport, lots of people tried to persuade me to take their taxi because I was determined to take an Uber, which, according to AI, had told me was entirely appropriate and was only going to cost me, I think, $15 to get 90 miles, which I thought was pretty good value.
Wow.
It seems the Uber's not allowed into the airport, but it depends on whether you believe what you're told. So I did eventually get a taxi to take me the full 90 miles for £32, which I thought was pretty good value, to be honest.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. But the idea, the concept of lines in the road is very, very mysterious. I haven't done much driving in Egypt. I've been here lots of times, but not in a car lots of times. So the concept, I think it's rather like you're a pilot and you just aim for the white line and you have the white line between your wheels. It's very mysterious. Very, very mysterious. So we did the whole 90 miles just with gay abandon is all I can say.
Gay abandon. I remember her. My Uncle Sam used to drive like that. My Uncle Sam, Francine's dad, used to drive. So the white line was in the middle of the car in his Vauxhall Victor because he said it's there to guide him. Like we used to point out, it's kind of there so you keep. No, he wouldn't have it. He wouldn't have it at all.
Oh, now, I just remember landing once at Cairo Airport, absolutely bursting for the loo. I had to go and Sharm el Sheikh the lettuce.
I knew that was going somewhere. I just wasn't quite sure where.
No, I
Who
need to
only
say
knows?
thank you.
At least
Thank
it wasn't
you.
a pyramid scheme.
Yay! Are you still in denial about that?
Oh,
thank
I
you very
see.
much. There we go. Had to be done. Had to be done.
So,
Had to be done.
I want to say thank you. You recommended, was it Death Before or Murder Before Evensong or Death Before Evensong? I can't remember the title of it. By the Reverend Richard Cole.
Murder Before Evensong.
Yeah, good. Way, way better than Richard Osman. Way better
than Richard Osman.
Way better. Written, better characters, more interesting, more believable. Well, as ever these things are. And it drove me mad because I'm looking at the main guy who's the vicar.
Yeah.
I'm going,
Whose name I can't remember.
I know this face. I know I'd never heard of the actor's name. Neville from Harry Potter.
Oh
yes. I've heard he was in it. Yeah.
It was driving me mad.
Okay,
and, when you think, I know that person.
Yeah.
Couldn't put it
together. My boys are a bit too old for the Harry Potter. They didn't really do the Harry Potters, so I
watched them myself.
I found that I think that's outrageous. I think it could be any age to watch Harry Potter. I really do believe that. It's escapism.
All right, well, maybe I'll start them.
I think so. Listen, they are very well put together.
God, the acting now.
I mean, I think the books were a bit better than the films.
Way better.
But it was. It's still very good. I mean, when you actually, the only thing I would argue with the books is that the first two very good. By the time you get to the third one, you sort of realize it's because J.K. Rowling is trying to churn them out and she's on to a winner. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like there was much more effort and crafting that went into the first two. Yeah. And then it's almost like, I just got to get this out quickly.
Well, it's not far different from her.
It's a bit like The Gatekeeper, really. So.
It's a little bit like the Cormoran Strike books. Much better books than TV. Much better, much more nuanced, much more detailed, much more interesting. But those Cormoran Strike books have got longer and longer and longer. I mean, the last one was a 34-hour audiobook. 34-hour audiobook. And you're going, right.
I need to get to bed sometime soon.
I need really to get a life. So 34 hours is a huge investment of anyone's time, but I was determined to get through it. And they're all like that now. But
then having said that, I mean, I believe Great Expectations is about the same length of audiobook. So actually, no one would have questioned Dickens.
Yeah, but the difference is when they make it to the TV show, they put it into 4 episodes. Well, 34 hours of audio, really detailed, into 4 shows. And you think, well, this is just skimming the surface. That's why the shows don't resonate so hard. Perfect casting, by the way. Whoever did the casting. Wow. Absolutely.
Sorry, Chantal, you said you brought out what? Sorry?
No, I was looking for the book that I bought in London to bring out here, which I haven't yet started, but it is about that thick. And there's something about a thick book like that. You just think you have to persevere. So, but I'm sort of building myself up to that moment that I think I can take it down to the beach and start it, because I know once I get into it that there's going to be no going back.
What is it? What is it about?
It is a book by Simon Sebag Montefiore. Fiore. And I think it's called Shushanka, something like that.
It's about a breakfast that you can have in a Moroccan restaurant.
No, that's
sorry.
I'm going to have to find it now. Hang on.
I thought it was quite a good gag. I thought it was quite a good gag. That looks a very small bed.
There it is. Look at that. There you go. Simon Sebag Montefiore, and then
that's huge.
Sashenka.
Oh my God.
That thing.
That's about actually. That's the same as the Corfu trilogy. So Gerald Durrell's autobiography, which is brilliant. That one.
Let me tell you a story, Mr. Dave. On which night was it? Wednesday night. I was invited to a lecture at the London Library, which I was very happy to be at, given by Lee Durrell, who is the wife of Gerald Durrell. And she talks
Wow.
all about the Durrell organisation, which I knew very little about. I really had no idea that they had lots of outreach into various parts of the world. Most specifically, I think they've got 200 staff in Madagascar. She was fascinating. Smashing woman. Durrell would have been 100 this year, and she was his much younger wife. Beautiful American scientist, biologist, I think, and still lives in Jersey and carries on the great work of the Durrell organisation. So there you are. What a coincidence!
Well, who'd have thought that? There you go. Yes, goodness.
I've made a deal with myself regarding books and regarding films. That if I don't like it, I just stop.
Yeah.
I used to be, I've got to persevere. And then I'm thinking, no, I don't have to persevere. You're encroaching on my time with something that isn't that good, and I'm not enjoying it at all. So
it's true, actually. I was exactly the same with books, and have read one or two that I just think, well, there's several hours I'll never get back again. But actually, there have been one or two recently where I've started reading. And I thought, what on earth is this? And I couldn't get into it. I thought,
drivel. It is. By the way, I just want to say thank you so much, because I know how valuable your time is, especially when you're traveling. And for you to do this is incredibly kind.
I am more than happy.
Greatly appreciate.
You do put me to shame, because I don't recall doing this from South Africa last week. So.
No, you didn't.
Well, it gives me somebody to talk to. I haven't talked to anybody all day, so it's lovely to have two people.
You had 90 miles in a taxi.
No, I did come for peace and quiet.
He went back to his house and said, "You know who I had in the back of my cab this week? Chantal Rickards OBE."
I've seen a few things. I'm going to rattle through them very quickly, because I'm
here we go.
Increasingly nervous about the Wi-Fi signal here, which comes and goes at will, which is a bit random. But I am an absolute sucker for programs about missing children and bad nannies, only because, well, my children never went missing, but I did suffer very badly from bad nannies.
Oh, wow.
They would probably say they suffered from a bad boss, but I had two that were completely and utterly horrendous, one of whom I had to report to the police. But that is a different story. There is on Sky a very glossy thriller that has just come out called All Her Fault.
Yep.
Which sort of sounds familiar, really. All Her Fault, and it stars. Do you know who the Australian actress Sarah Snook is?
Nope.
Can't say I've heard of. Sorry.
Did you watch Obsession?
No.
No, I don't.
This is going well.
No, in that case, forget I mentioned it. If you don't know who she is, it doesn't really matter. But she's a fantastic Australian actress.
Is she a friend of Michelle Vaughan's?
No, she's not.
Oh, okay. Well, that was my last stab at being relevant.
She and Dakota Fanning play two women who both have children who are 5 years old, and one seemingly invites the other round for a play date. The child gets picked up after school to go for the play date. The other mother arrives, and there is nobody at the house who even knows of said child or the mother that was supposed to be putting on the play date. And it just fills my every sleeping and waking moment with absolute horror, this idea that somebody might do something awful to one's children. But anyway, that's how it starts, and it goes on.
I think I started watching that.
Right.
It's on Sky. I can't get Sky.
I know, but I don't have Sky anymore.
No, but you've got Now.
I haven't got Now. No,
Russ, you've got Now, haven't you?
I haven't got Now, no, but I think that interesting.
How many parts
sure that sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Right. It's a 6 1 hours. It's perfect for an aeroplane journey, is all I would say. So if you happen to be going on one in the next few weeks, it's a bit more for the girls. Yeah. The boys don't come out of this very well, but I think for the women watching, I think you'll probably find it very enjoyable. I mean, it's very soapy. And calling it a thriller, it is a thriller, and I have been on the edge of my seat, and I feel really quite nervous about the whole thing watching it. But it's good. The actresses are excellent, and if it weren't for the two lead actresses, I probably wouldn't stick with it.
It would be pants. Michelle says she was in The Dressmaker with Kate Winslet, which was an interesting little film, I thought.
There we go.
Did you ever see that film?
Thank you for that, Michelle.
Did you see that movie?
No, I didn't.
Very quirky and good.
No.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
Pretty good.
And talking of quirky and good, one of my favourite filmmakers is a British guy called Edgar Wright, who's a director.
Yes.
He's a he's a writer and director, and he wrote probably 10 or 15 years ago now, did Hot Fuzz. What else did he do? Some of those very sort of Shaun of the Dead.
Yep.
Quirky stuff. More recently, 5 or 6 years ago.
What was it called? World's End or At the World's End or something like that?
Don't remember that. Baby Driver, I remember.
Baby Driver was good.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
well, he's the guy who's brought out this film that is on every single bus side in London called The Running Man with Glenn Powell, who is rapidly becoming the biggest pin-up in America. Who's actually, he's all beefcake, but God, he's a good actor. And this is just
this is how Phil and I live our days. We are both beefcake and sex objects. We've had to come to terms with it.
And you handle it both so well.
I think we do, with modesty, but with charm.
Chantal, please answer honestly. Have you ever actually analysed his acting? I'm just asking.
Well, I haven't. I don't have to, because I enjoy what I see. If I enjoy what I see, not much more thought goes into it.
And there's my point. Okay, he might be a rubbish actor.
That's like me and Eva Green. I don't care what she's doing. It's great.
You do. Yes, I'm not really a film critic, and I'm not really a television critic.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
just a mate of yours that happens to work in the industry that knows a thing or two.
Well,
you can take my comments on any level, but probably not a very serious one.
Authority.
He never steered us wrong before.
Is The Running Man a remake of the fabulous Arnie movie?
Yes.
Oh God, I watched that the other week again. It's sensationally good. Even now.
This time they've thrown $110 million at it. All the money's on screen. It is so confusing, but it is unbelievably well directed. The editing is off the scale and the music is wonderful. And there is a story of sorts in the middle of it. The story's sort of irrelevant. You don't really need to know about it. It's about a guy who gets involved in a game show. We're in a post-apocalyptic period.
Of course.
He gets into a game show because he needs to... I mean, it's sort of rather like these things that you see on Channel 4 all the time. Has to disappear and go off the grid for a month without getting caught to be able to win $1 billion. It's that simple. You don't really need to know much more. But actually, it's very well put together. I think it'll become one of those classics, rather like the original did. But this is sort of a superannuated version of the original. And it's on at the cinema. And it's only going to cost you, well, depending on where you go, £9. I think the view is...
Plus popcorn.
Yeah, well, the popcorn will cost you about £9.
£9.
And the seat will cost you about £9. But yeah, don't buy the popcorn, take your own.
The thing about the original Running Man, I was amazed how it stood up to the test of time.
Okay.
But also it had the game show host, Richard Dawson, who at one point was married to Diana Dawes, of all people. And
wow, I don't
English guy.
Name.
He was one of the very few English people who went over to America and was a huge success. Huge success. And he basically is playing himself as this kind of oleaginous game show, and he did it brilliantly. And it was one of the first movies to really show that TV was just about the money and it wasn't real, and don't take it seriously. Look, it's nothing personal. It's just about ratings. And of course, they're doing the most horrific. They're killing people. And it's still a great film. Great. I mean,
we've now got Squid Game, of course, which is similar in some sort of way. And I think the original Running Man must have been truly shocking. Having said that, Josh Brolin, who plays the game show host in this movie, is fabulous. He's so evil. I mean, he really is evil, and he plays it incredibly well. But if you just want a bit of sort of popcorn film type stuff for the weekend, go and see it. But I think it's only going to work on a big screen. I think it's the sort of movie that just won't translate well back to telly, unless you've got a giant telly at home.
No.
Anyway,
I watch more and more stuff on my laptop now.
Oh.
Because it sounds. I tell you why. the sound is better. I can plug in earphones and I can hear it properly.
Yeah,
I can hear it in proper Dolby surround sound sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's much better. Yeah.
Well, what I haven't mentioned recently is Slow Horses, and that was because I was saving it for my little holiday this weekend, and I watched 3 episodes on the plane yesterday. And Slow Horses season 5, which is on Apple, which I know you guys haven't got, but my God, if you only buy Apple for a week, this is what you buy it for.
Yeah.
Slow Horses season 5 with Gary Oldman and Jack Lowden is just brilliant. The writing is so good. I just laugh out loud. I mean, it really is witty, but clever at the same time. And these are about the oddball guys who've all been thrown out of MI5, or they've all been sent to some random office in the West End and basically told to stay out of trouble. And guess what?
They don't.
They don't. Clearly.
Yes. You know, there's an Italian restaurant that features in it a lot.
Yes, there is.
But anyway, my mate Ray Gelato, who you know I see every Saturday morning, right? So he's got some other friends. They go, Rocking Dave to be exact. And Rocking Dave says, let's go to the restaurant. I know it. And they went to this restaurant. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Wherever Rocking Dave is, it's chaos. And he didn't disappoint.
Yeah, but he makes up for it with his hair, though.
Oh, my God. His hair's immaculate. But
Too silly.
He's the funniest guy in the history of the world. For some reason, Rocking Dave ends up this week in an Alexander McQueen photo shoot. And I'm like, you're judging me.
Okay.
How? We don't know. Nobody knows. And there he is, Rocking Dave in an Alexander McQueen photo shoot. Oh, God, I love it.
Okay.
It was so silly.
Oh,
right. So Slow Horses.
Yes, and finally, one line mention of Return to Paradise.
Oh,
so
Return to
Slow
Paradise.
Horses is Apple. Slow Horses is Apple, and then Return to Paradise on BBC One, which is the second series, which features gosh, what is the actress's name?
I don't know, but she's a misery. She's such a misery.
Anna Sampson. She is. Used to be in Home and Away, and she is the actress playing the copper. Out of Fish Out of Water copper in Australia. Second series started on the BBC last week, or the week before, maybe.
I couldn't get into
I've caught up.
Paradise, you know.
I've watched both episodes of that because I quite like it. It's kind of harmless, but she is.
Well, it's not Death in Paradise, that's for sure.
No, it isn't. Anyway, she takes some. You gotta like grit your teeth to get through. You think, and the very handsome guy that she's hanging around for, you think, what are you seeing her? She's such a pain in the ass.
Well, the will they, won't they is what's keeping me watching.
You know what? I don't care. Will they, won't they? Couldn't give a monkeys either way, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think it's interesting they got the Irish actor doing his little bits and pieces from London. He's meant to be her.
Oh, yeah.
Ardlo Hanlon.
Yes,
that's the one.
Hanlon.
That's the one.
No, well, there you are. But a bit of cozy crime, because I know you love your cozy crime.
I do like cozy crime. I enjoy it very, very much. The thing that I don't get with that show, and it's a common, Michelle, you can comment on this. It's a common thread throughout a lot of Australian and New Zealand and even Tasmanian shows, is they show to me as a Londoner this idyllic place, lovely weather, beautiful beach, lovely scenery. It's all nice. And they can't wait to leave because it's so terrible. And you're thinking, I'd kill for that right now, just to get out of this hellhole and be somewhere really pretty and nice. It's weird. They all hate it. And I always think that judders a bit with me.
But doesn't that just go to show the grass isn't necessarily greener?
Oh, of course. But it's a nice little. So what's the rest of the day got planned for you?
Well, the sun's gone in, which is slightly random because the whole idea was to come out and get a winter suntan. Yes.
Rest assured, the sun isn't doing much in the UK at the moment, so you're not missing anything.
No, it's piddling.
No, I've got a massage booked, or a body scrub. I can't remember one or the
Yeah.
other.
Now, what time when I booked you in with that,
I didn't like to say anything.
it was 3:30. Could you make it 3:15? I'm absolutely ran with appointments.
Yes, there is a very nice spa downstairs, so I'm going to find my way to that.
What, that little supermarket chain?
It's been a pleasure as ever, but I must away because regrettably I have a remote meeting at 1 o'clock.
You've got to go
so
to your spa and see some sunshine and look after the shipping.
I've got to go and get some dates.
And I've got to go and do my podcast, Walk the Talk, The Hero's Journey. Until we meet again, everybody, on Monday, take care. Have a wonderful time in Cairo. I want to hear all about the museum. Phil, have a wonderful time in somewhere else. Until Monday,